Hey, Chris, hang on.
Professor, hello.
Yeah, I just turned on. Yeah, okay, good. My video is showing. Yeah, wow. All right. The lighting is pretty good too. Not too bad, not too bad. Great. Hey, Ryan, welcome, welcome.
And
Okay. Hi. So by the way, I'm not planning to be around. So you guys, because I just joined the meeting, so it'll get recorded and you guys can watch it later. I won't stick around any longer than you guys need me to. How about that? Okay, so you guys can have a free form conversation, just help each other out as usual. So cool. It's so yeah, and I think I'll mention it now because some of you were absent last time, last class. These meetings here, essentially, well, let's wait for more people to come up, join. Divyani, yeah, welcome. So these meetings are generally just like a tech meetup, okay? Just like a tech meetup. So, and so you guys get together, think about it, right? So if you're all doing a certain course, a boot camp, let's say, just a random boot camp, right? Learning C++ in different places. So the social things are very useful, right? Because you can actually Google for meetups related to C++ and things like that and go. Now, you can consider this group to be a very specialized meetup. It's not only C++, but also C++ at Foothill with questing. So it's a very specialized group, and you guys can basically have the time of your life just talking about issues to do with these quests. And Chris has made a lot of progress, so you can probably help out. You've already been helping out, I noticed, in the forums. So yeah, so at least a whole bunch of you now have a little bit of practice, quite a bit of practice actually, in helping without giving the solution out, right? Because I am actually watching the forum posts, and because people do ask questions, and other people are helping, but surprisingly they are all very, very nice and focused and not giving the solution out, but hinting at it and so on. So I actually love it. So so I think that's the way to go, and I thought that needs to be practiced, but it actually just comes naturally to well, the most of you guys anyway. So that's fantastic. I'm very pleased to see that. Oh wow, is that the moon, Noah, in front of you, or is that the Mac screen, or there's a moon-like circle, right? And you're kind of blurred out. You're blurred out behind a misty screen. Are you real? Wait, is it like, is that a picture or
I have really bad lighting.
I see.
It's
Okay,
really dark.
it does look like a synthetic picture. You never know. All right. Okay. Cool. Because there was a long time ago. I think a couple of years ago, when COVID was raging and all. I saw an interesting YouTube video. This guy essentially faked an entire year using a video of himself at in a high-paying job in Zoom meetings, and nodding his head and things like that, and it's kind of, and saying things, and so apparently it's possible. So if you Google it, you'll find out. Maybe it's just fiction. It's fictional, but it's still interesting to see. All right, great. Anyway, so more people may join, but I'm not worried at this point, because I could leave and then still the meeting will keep going on, because I joined as a guest today. So the settings are working on Canvas. It's fantastic. All right, so unless you guys have any questions for me, anything that I can help answer, I can basically just say happy to see you guys, and I'll be online if you need me. You can email me. Well, don't email me, okay? Just post in the forums, because chances are someone else will get to your question or whatever it is faster than I can. And it is getting to be more true in many ways, because some of these quests, when people post questions, like I saw some of these answers, maybe from Chris, or maybe it was in 2C, I don't know. Right, and I've forgotten how it's done, but Chris basically just got it like that, or someone, right, the person who answered it, and I thought, well, okay, well, that is great, and so many of you are doing a much better job at. It shouldn't come across as the prof is now being lazy by letting the students do all the work. So even if prof is lazy, I can be lazy. No, that's not the bad. I think that's a bad inference. But I'm certainly here to help. I'm just making a point that some of you are actually able to offer better help than I can. So I'm very pleased and happy to see that. Yeah. All right. Do you have any questions? I think most of you are pretty much done almost with blue at this point. I think yeah, most of you are done. Everybody on screen anyway is pretty much done. So green would be fun. Okay, blue. I was telling the 2C, was it 2A? What? Who did I meet this morning afternoon? Yeah, 2C students. Yeah, blue. I don't know. Even though the history of questing is the first quest ever to be born was green one, the duck quest, and then after green, I did blue. After green one, I did the blue quests and then the yellow quests, and then I did red and then finished up the green. So because of the way in which the quarters came about, I was teaching 2B. And then 2A, some kind of mix up there. Okay, and I also, Michael retired, so I kind of inherited his modules, which is, everybody inherited the modules. Okay, that's why it's free. It's free to the whole world, right? So the world inherited his modules, so that's why I just put it online there. It's very nice, isn't it? I mean, I don't know if you read the book. Anybody got the book, the Savage book? It's so thick, isn't it? So thick, and it's heavy. I don't. It's a pain. It's a pain to look through the book, but Michael saved us the tough work by distilling exactly the things that we need, and it's I think it's a great collection. I don't know. Right? That's why I put it up there, and most of the quests are based on it. In fact, most of the labs that Michael had, I kind of imported into quests, which you start seeing not so much in 2A, because 2A are all different. 2B, I think there's quite a few. And 3 or 4 labs from Michael imported into quests. And then in 2C, I was able to import more, even more. I think 3 or 4 maybe. So it's fun because, the reason I got them in, because those were very popular labs. Students loved those. Students really loved working on those labs. And that's why they exist today too. And I'm pretty sure it's not just us and Michael and Foothill or these modules of the quests. The thing is, the popular CS problems are just popular. Okay, it's not like popular at Foothill. So the thing is, if you get into the automata, for example, quest number 3, automata, it's very interesting. But you'll go any college you go to, they'll probably teach you the same thing, right? Because these are interesting problems they pick out. Because it's a vast field. Computer science is so huge. You got to pick out these interesting things, and these interesting things kind of over time, over decades, kind of end up at this is the best problem to teach at this level, and so on. So many places in the world just zero in on these things. And I think that's why I think that's what it is. It's not a coincidence, right? I mean, when we get to 2C, there's a whole bunch. There's a variety of interesting, challenging problems. Again, we've done a good job, I think, when you get to the red quests. I hope you'll all go ahead and complete also the once you're done with green, go ahead and do the red also. You can either go on and do the red or we'll see. If you've done green well and helped all your classmates, and go back and help and maintain a good distinguished profile on Reddit, I'll see if I can pull up some interesting extra credit opportunity also, right? So some interesting project that we could work on. And student 2A are asking me strangely, do you have an extra credit project and so on? And because some of them have finished, my 2A students, some of my 2A students have finished quest 9, a blue quest 9. And so they're saying, oh, give me an extra credit project. So I generally start thinking about these after week 6, because, week 6 or week 7, I get a much better feel of, who's interested in what their strengths are, and so on. So then I'd also be in much better position to put some teams together, right? Saying these 2 people can, synergize and work together. Yeah, so after week 6, we'll come up with some interesting projects that you can work on. Not just for credit, okay? We'll pick something that could potentially be a good a showcase item for you in your portfolio, right? Something that you can finish and say, publish on GitHub or Stack Overflow, saying, oh yeah, well, this is cool, And so it's something you can look back on and say, hey, I got something out of CS2B, right? So that should be fun. Okay, all right. So I don't have anything particular to say. Today was a great experiment for me to make sure that this thing will work, even if I'm going to leave the meeting, and it lets me do that. Because last time it didn't let me do that. Because last time, if I leave the meeting, it'll just close the meeting. But there were some settings I had to fiddle with in Zoom. So now I think it's all under control. All right. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions for me? Otherwise, you guys should just take. Feel free to you don't talk to each other. Before you take off. And Tejas, welcome. Right. I welcome you, and John too. Right. Well, you were there, but you just had some camera issues. So switching it on. Yeah. But yeah, I saw you were there. Yeah. Great. Any questions for me? Otherwise, hey Tim, hi. Finally, hi. Tim was my 2A student. Everybody other than Tim, I think joined just 2B. Yeah, you did 2A somewhere else, and Tim actually did my 2A also. So he got a freebie in that sense. He got the blue quest already done. By the time Tim got into green, blue, you already finished your blue and 2A. Yes, I was telling the other students just now. Yeah. All right. Hey, Tim, you joined at just the right time because I'm about to take off. So it's all up to you guys now. Okay. So unless you have a question for me, I'm gonna say good night and have a great time. And if those of you who miss it or can just look at the video, I'll upload it tomorrow. Okay. It'll be there in my Zoom account. So I'll have to download it and then upload it to YouTube. I wish they had a link, I mean, Zoom, if you have a cloud recording, they should probably just have a link saying, upload to Facebook, upload to YouTube or something like that. And then you can click it and forget it rather than have to download it and upload it again. It's a waste of time. I don't know if there's any business advantages, but certainly it simplifies our lives a great deal. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
I have a question about green one. I don't know if anybody started green one yet, but instead of starter code, he just has like chunks of code laid out. And I don't know which one goes in the CPP file and which one goes in the header file. Like, are we just...
No, I think they all go to the header file, and then CPP file is what you use to implement those functions.
Okay. Okay.
And there are also going to be some stuff you have to add yourself, I think, as you go on.
Got it. So the CPP file is just going to be like defining all of
like
the
implementing the functionality.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Did you guys learn the stuff from Blue Quest 8 and 9 in your CS2A class?
Nope.
No.
Some of them, no.
I had been self-studying before I started these classes, and when we got to those quests, I was like, oh, thank God. Because my 2A class stopped at we barely got into classes and stuff.
Yeah, my 2A class was so chill. It was asynchronous as well. We barely learned anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's so bad because we only learn up to arrays, as far as and classes. So I didn't even know what a vector was or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Even Blue Quest 8 is a data structure problem. It's stacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was Christopher though, right? Who posted the YouTube video on a linked list. Was that you?
Oh yeah, that was me.
Yeah, that came in clutch.
Oh yeah, that helped.
Thank you.
Did help. Yeah.
Do you guys know if generally are we supposed to complete one quest a week?
Yeah, I think it's designed to be the one a week. We have 11 weeks according to Canvas, but then a couple of weeks is reserved for midterms and finals.
Yeah.
I was also wondering
I
was wondering in quest 1 in the constructor, how do you set the head ID to -1? Because there's since it's I tried to set the song entry to a new song entry, then -1 and then head the string head, but that didn't work.
Oh, I see what you mean. Wait, let me check mine.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
look.
I think it's because it's like private or something, so you have to.
In the constructor, you said?
Yeah.
Oh god.
You have
where is
to,
that?
you have to do it in the playlist constructor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No-
I know since the playlist constructor, I did like head equals new node, then like new song entry.
Yeah, and then you have to do negative and then put the parameters in the song entry.
Yeah, and then I put -1 head.
Yeah.
I can actually just paste the 2 lines.
Did that not work for you?
Nah, but I might have done like a typo.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah, -1 head should work.
Yeah, I
That's
did
what I
that.
did. Because the error it gives is saying like, it says that invalid conversion from playlist song entry pointer to int.
Interesting.
No.
Song entry. Do you have your song entry constructor built already?
Yeah, check your song entry constructor.
Oh yeah.
Because that could be where it would be the issue.
Well, I think he already he gave it to us.
Oh, it's in there already.
It's just int ID equals 0, string name equals unnamed.
Oh yeah,
That's weird.
it's in the header, right?
And yeah.
Wait, so you did new node song entry -1 head?
Yeah, like just see the chat. That's basically what I did.
Oh, let's check.
That's the same line that I have.
I don't think you need to, or I guess that should work, but
Song entry and -1
You could
head.
you could do
Oh,
it all.
You don't need to
know,
put
you can just-
new in front of your first object
Oh really?
because you only need to
Oh,
allocate
wait,
for the,
yeah.
for the node. You don't need to allocate a song entry object that you're creating, and then you allocate for the node with the pointer.
Yeah, you just need to
Oh.
do song entry head and then you pass in your parameters.
Yeah.
Oh okay. So you don't need like a new song entry.
No, because you're
Oh.
yeah.
Because when you call the constructor, it's then building a song entry for you.
Oh, okay. I see. Thanks.
Yeah, that the first quest is a lot.
I thought it's similar to Blue 9, except a few things like the constructor, then the
And like the access
the insert
modifiers
next,
are
yeah,
private.
and like
Yeah.
the insert next and stuff.
It's just different enough to like throw you. Also, the auto grader is like not helpful when something is going terribly wrong. I was doing the
It's
quest
really hard to
3,
debug. Oh,
It just
quest 3
goes-
was hell.
and it's like just threw an exception. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, what is the exception? If I had this on my system, I could see what it is. And it's like, nope.
The cellular automata, I submitted like 200 times at least.
I lost my mind on it this like over the weekend, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? And then I think it was you that was like, check your width. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I
No,
just got that in today. I was like, oh, that was gonna
no,
drive
the
me
ex-
insane.
The extreme bits is pretty something else.
Dude, why all his quests like jumped in difficulty like crazy for starting from quest 2. Like it was
like-
easy, and then it just got super hard.
And then quest 4 and 5 are like suddenly really easy. Like
Really?
quest 5 is stupid
Oh.
easy.
Dude, I
That's good to
didn't
know.
I'm on quest 6 right now.
what the fuck?
I'm reading the inheritance.
Yeah, you're like flying through. It's good. It's like somebody just running into all the problems I'm gonna run into about 5 days before. It's great.
Yeah. Taking
Yeah.
one for the team.
So like,
Yeah.
but no more tip sheets though.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So unfortunate. Oh well.
For this very reason. I mean, we have
Yeah.
we have the Discord. The Discord's good for tip
Yeah.
sheets.
Honestly, the main thing that the tip sheet helped me with was you'd be like, yeah, like this random function was throwing an error, but it was actually this other one, and then the same thing happened to me. It was basically
Yeah.
just auto grader.
Oh yeah.
Look out for
And,
the auto grader was like the best tip I think you gave.
in like Blue Quest 4, I didn't actually complete the Fibonacci sequence because it's throwing an infinite loop every time, no matter what I did. So I just gave up on that one. I just like took the password and left to the next quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna do that on green too, because I kept getting just like the most outrageous error. But I had already gotten the password, so I was like, I'm gonna see what previous Reddit posts have said about this, and it was the same thing that people run into, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, is it the cache? The
It's the
caching?
stupid freaking cache and like a 3D vector, which is just like
No, because the caching thing
I
is
can't
that
picture it in my head. Ugh,
because
yeah,
the
it's so
caching
annoying.
he wants you to like have the exact same cache for
Yeah.
every single instant, for every single step. So
I feel like it would
It's
make
so
more sense.
hard.
Like for the cache, like it makes sense. Like if you do like you test 10 disk, like it would cache all the results for like 9, 8, 7, 6, right? But like
Yeah.
we're supposed to like clear it, so it's only for 10. It's like, but
Yeah.
it wasn't really clear about that.
I kept getting confused because I was like trying to test if I was even if I was finding it in the cache and then pushing it back out. And I was never getting that message when I was clearing it the right way, because you clear it immediately.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is wrong.
You clear one level above you immediately, I think, after you run
Yeah.
the first recursion. I have pages tracing recursion for like 5 disks. I
Yeah.
tried to handwrite it and like, oh my god, which one is not being used anymore? I'm like,
Oh, like this.
yeah,
Oh my god, dude.
but I did like n equals 5 disks. It was not a good night.
But it doesn't even make sense because like if you test 10 disks and then you test 11 disks, like you're supposed to clear the result for 10 disks. Like, aren't you?
Yeah.
Basically,
Like, why would you want to clear it though? Because like you want it's like
well, because you're not using it again, because the next recursion step would be n minus 1 and then
Yeah.
n minus 1 again. So the 10 is just gone. And then 9 is gone after that. I don't know, memory efficiency. I don't know. Just do what the questing site wants.
I did like a pseudo tip sheet for that where I kind of talked about the efficiency and like how I spent 3 days trying to figure out why my cache wasn't the same as his.
No, he actually posted a tip sheet himself there for the caching. That's actually how I solved it. He said to clear the cache after you use it at n something. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that works.
It looked like that used to be in the starter code and he took it out.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Sounds like something he would do.
I have one more question for green one. Same thing. For like the little subclasses, song entry, and what's the other one? Node. The starter code he gives you that also goes. That's also just like the definition, right? That goes in the header file, and then you like the actual your code is going to go into the CPP file.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unless it's defined inline. So like song entry,
like the
get
constructors.
song.
Yeah, he has some inline stuff in there. I guess the only reason I'm confused is because for the big playlist class under song entry and node, it says there's a comment that says your code here, but I'm assuming that my code is just the starter code that he gave for those classes, and then I'm actually going to fill them out in the CPP file.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was doing it. He gives you the starter code, and then later it was like enter your code here, and I was like, oh well.
Yeah, it's just telling you. It's just
use that.
Yeah,
just to check whether you read the entire module or not. Honestly.
Yeah.
It's just a way for him to test you, because like some of them he actually gives the answer early on, and then it's just empty later on, and you have to solve it, but it's actually in the beginning. So you just have to read like everything.
Yeah, I've noticed that on like I think every quest so far. There's one mini quest where the answer is already given for you in the starter code, which is great. Yeah, it's usually inline stuff. I think is like either whether it got left in there by mistake or it's like a freebie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some getters I see are already given to you.
Yeah, getters and setters are usually setters, maybe not. Getters definitely just like return something.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And there's a It looks like a constructor. Be sure it gives to you. I forgot, what do you call that when it like gives you base values if the user doesn't input,
A default
doesn't give any
constructor.
parameters, any arguments?
A
What?
default constructor.
Yeah, default constructor. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the inline definitions for like the constructors was like, or like the functions too, was so different because my like last professor, he was like, he would take off points if you didn't put it outside the actual class. Like
Oh yeah.
his format is like so weird. Like sometimes he'll just be like, he'll be like, define it like this, or like don't put a default constructor. And I remember like I got so many points off on like one of my old like mini coding projects before because I didn't put a default constructor. So it's just like
Yeah,
different.
every professor has their own like style and guidelines for the formatting. So if you take 2B here, I'd say you take 2C with this professor as well, or else like the formatting is gonna be messed up. You're gonna be confused which one to follow. I'm planning to stick 2C with this professor.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
that's my plan.
Yeah, I think I'll probably do that. I also, did you guys have Professor Pham last quarter? Did you guys take him?
No, but I know he teaches the other 2B, right?
Yeah, he's a good professor.
Yeah, I had class with him.
That we're doing now.
Did you like the way he set up his class?
It was just like.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so much easier though.
Yeah, like literally one coding assignment every 2 weeks, like so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt kind of perfect.
Well, I
But-
have a calculus test tomorrow, so I think I'm gonna go steady, but I guess if any of you guys want to discuss anything on Discord, I'll be like happy to discuss. I might not be able to help too much, but happy to discuss.
Calculus
bye.
test already. That's terrifying.
Oh yeah, no. My calculus professor also gives so much homework. Like I've had like 3 assignments in like the last week. And
Oh,
like
no.
Yikes.
Wait, is this Calc 2 or 3?
oh, I'm taking 2 right now.
2? Okay. I think I'm
Yeah.
in the opposite section from you then, because that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, I wish I picked up a better professor because I heard that like she was like pretty good, but I like the more chill, laid back ones who don't give too much homework and like kind of yeah, it's also like every single day, like 4 or 5 times a week. Yeah.
Oof.
That's rough.
rough.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Like,
He might explain this in the specs. Look, let me be completely honest. I like skim the specs. That's why I'm asking you guys a bunch of questions. Why are there in the total playlist class, there's multiple statements that are like public this, private this, public this. Why doesn't he just have one public, all the public stuff?
It's
And
because the
one private.
playlist class consists of 2 other class. So first of all, you have the playlist class, so it has its own public and private. So in the public, it has a public class called song entry, I think. And then the private one is node. And then each that class has another private and public again.
Okay.
So it's like a nested class kind of
It's
thing.
like okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
He also then does go back to another public and private section. You can use multiple sections. I think the reason it bounces back is to get the 2 subclasses in, because then you need to use them further down in your definitions.
Okay.
So yeah, I've seen code where it's like public, private, public, private, public, private. I think it's just like in logical layout for you.
Okay. I guess I
Instead of
just
like-
figured,
Yeah.
yeah, for some reason it would be like not good practice, but I'm seeing it and it looks fine. So I'm not gonna question it.
Also, like definitely when you get into the work, read the specs with a fine-tooth fine tooth comb, because there are like single lines in there that seemingly contradict other lines, but don't, and you will need to figure out in order to like pass a very specific test.
This is a
It's,
reading class.
Yeah, it's very, it
Dude.
also, but it makes the coding easier, because it seems like he's being abstract, but he's really not. Like it is helping you figure out how to like crack the code until quest 3, which I
This is
felt
a-
was like
yeah.
way too vague of a thing, and I had to be like, wait, I have to do what for this?
I think this is a personal assault to cellular automata.
It was. I still don't know how I got through that. I was like,
Me too, honestly.
I thought I was making it up, and then I was like, oh wait, this is what you're supposed to do. Oh, also, if you haven't read the corresponding modules from like the Michael Losif class, read those, because like he was saying, they usually correspond with the assignments directly.
I actually noticed that. Luckily, all my knowledge up until this point, well, like some of it came from the last class and the rest of it just came from the videos that Christopher linked. But I think so. I haven't like had to look at them too much. I just look at the
Yeah.
first one. But yeah, I probably should start looking at those. Do you think those are useful for green 1? Because so far it looks like pretty similar stuff to blue 9.
I didn't use it for green 1, but 2 and 3, I definitely started like it. There's some entries in there, especially for 3. Like 3 lays out exactly what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I actually
There-
didn't
there-
even realize there's a reading until quest 2. I mean quest 3. So quest 1, I actually didn't use any reading at all. I
Okay.
just used it based on the video.
There's a video?
No, the video that I put on the post.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Oh.
I'll definitely check out the modules for 3. You guys are kind of scaring me with all this talk about 3. So like, should I be like
It's
preparing
not.
myself mentally?
No, it's just like a very abstract concept that you then have to
Yeah.
code, and you have to like manipulate binary numbers, and then like
the binary
put binary
parts.
numbers into a vector of bools, which evaluate to 0 or 1, and then
Oh my
those
god.
create your next It's a lot, but like read the LOSEF module and then read the spec, and you'll be like kind of fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Really-
actually didn't realize that the 3 parents thing, the sliding window method, is actually reading the binary number that converts
Yeah.
to the set of rules. Like
Yeah.
I thought, like, how do you convert like 001 to like which rule it corresponds to? Turns out like it's just a binary representation. That's why like the utility function is there. So
Yeah.
the utility function was definitely like a hint that it's dropped in front of me, but I didn't realize that it's used for that.
Also use there's a standard library called bitset that you should include, because it makes binary manipulation a lot easier.
Oh,
Like
really?
I
I did
looked up
not
like
use it.
how I looked up like how do I convert this to a binary, and there was like these algorithms to do it and this and that, and somebody's like include bitset and just create a binary number, and I was like, yes.
Is this like an C++ STL?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if we're able to like link any external template library, standard template library, or do we just need to use like what we've been taught so far?
I think as long as it's like, I mean, it's just stood bitset, so I feel like that's standard
All right,
C++. I feel like that's
as long as it does the job. I
we're
guess.
including vector. Why can't we include,
Right.
to
That's
me
fair.
it's all fair game, because it's
That's fair.
work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, for me, I converted the bits to the thing using the second power base thing. So while it's not equal to 0, keep dividing it, and like modulus
Yeah.
10, and then
Yeah,
power of
I
2.
saw that. Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna be able to keep track of this.
Dang, this really is a reading class. That's the worst part. Is like I just want to like copy the starter code and then start coding, and then I'm like, dang, I really have to read like 17 pages.
Yeah.
I mean, but then like once you read it, it makes a lot more sense. But it's like a sad reality.
Yeah. The other thing I found helpful is to like write up the starter code and then generate definitions for it, like in my CPP file, and then make sure it's returning something, even if it's like a null return.
Hmm.
And so that I can like use the auto grader, like as I finish a mini quest, like use the auto grader to make sure that I haven't completely messed it up, and then
So-
move on to the next mini quest.
So you like
Because the auto
submit
grader
it?
won't compile. Yeah, I submit it, but with like a bunch of to-dos. But
Mm.
the auto grader won't compile if you don't have everything returning the way it should. So you need to like at least generate like a very basic definition of like return standard string, right?
Yeah, that's like
Or-
what I was gonna do for like every single quest, but then he has like this thing in the syllabus that says like if you submit multiple times, you will get like flagged or something.
I think it means if you do like a bunch in a row without changing your code. So like, which I've been afraid of, because when I'm trying to figure out what exception it's throwing, I'm changing one line and resubmitting
Mhm.
because I don't know. But yeah, I think it's like if you do it successively, like without changing anything.
Without
Like,
why would anyone do that though?
well, no, like without changing anything significant, right? So like, I don't know, you change the size of a vector or something and resubmit it like 30 times. I feel like that gets flagged.
Okay.
Versus like, I think you can submit, I don't know, or you can do it anonymously.
I might have been flagged for quest 3, but you know, it's quest 3. I don't care. Quest
Yeah, I'm
3 was
surprised. Did you actually submit it 200 times, or was that figurative? Because allegedly there's like a cap to how many times you can submit, and it'll lock you out.
actually.
Yeah, I haven't met that.
Well, I
Yeah,
haven't
I
hit
think-
that yet, obviously. Then
I think it was the Fibonacci
No,
quest or something.
I
It was some
definitely
random quest.
submitted a lot in like quest 3, but yeah, the broken pointer is like such an annoying.
So frustrating.
Broken pointers. Sorry, I wouldn't know. You guys are probably talking about Quest 3, but I have ran into that alleged broken pointer.
No, you're
from
gonna
my-
run.
Oh yeah, no,
Gonna run
I
through
think
that
it's-
like every single quest from now on. There's gonna be at least a broken pointer because we're starting to do like a lot of pointer stuff and dereferencing and do like memory management. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're also
I'm getting another error for some reason, which just has to do with the song entry. Like it says that the song entry in the playlist is not like it can't find it. So I pasted in the chat that basically the function. It says the song entry, it can't like it doesn't exist. I don't know why.
What?
it's saying
Error.
Oh, I see. So you have because the actually is the get current song part of the song entry class or the playlist class? If it's part of the song entry class, you have to do playlist : and then song entry :
yeah,
If it's part of the playlist class, then that should be fine.
it's in song entry. You need to
Okay,
have play.
then
Yeah, you need to playlist to give it that.
Then you have to
Scope.
select the
Yeah,
Oh, so I need the playlist : song entry, then add playlist or add,
yeah.
and then double colon again and then and then the function.
all right, thanks. All right, I'm gonna go now. See you guys.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it just the on Reddit? Is it just the tip parts that we're not supposed to look at, or is it like
I don't think we're not supposed to look at, but like we're not allowed to make any more tip sheet.
Yeah.
We're not
Or
supposed
is
to
it-
make any more, and we're not supposed to look at old entries. Like we're only supposed to look at our classes.
Oh yeah. I mean like our class, like
Yeah,
what
like
we
don't go
have for
back.
this year.
Yeah, don't go back 6 months and look up an answer. Although I did read in one of his old posts that if you've already gotten the next password, but you're having trouble finishing the extra mini quest, then you're okay to go back and just like limit the amount that you do that, because like there's not answers in the past, but there are like people being like, I have a broken pointer, what the hell, from like 3 years ago or whatever. And you're like, I
right?
feel that. And
Then we'll be
they
like
might have-
relatable.
yeah, they might have a tip from in the past that might be able to help you. But I think you're not supposed to go back until you've gotten to that point. And if you can avoid it, not at all.
But we can look at everything from this class, everything like that
Oh,
people
yeah.
post.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's the point, is that like if you get stuck, post a question on the Reddit similar to this, and like people will answer with hints. And then that kind of builds up the knowledge base for our cohort.
Right.
Could you guys explain what's going on with the line of code that Tejas sent again? Because I'm looking at the outline and it looks like get current song is in the playlist class, not the song entry class.
But the song entry class is in the playlist class, so you have to prepend song entry with playlist double colon.
Okay, well, but the function get current song, is that supposed to be in the song entry class?
I think that was in the playlist class.
Yeah. Okay, so then since it's not, since it's only in the playlist class, you don't have to put song entry too, right? You just put
It's
playlist
just
and you're good.
playlist. Well, yeah, the way you had it right there is right. It's playlist.
Okay. Cool. Just wanted
Yeah.
to make sure that it wasn't misunderstanding. Yeah.
The quest says that you think that's it. Does that mean you didn't get all the trophies?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, because I think it does that even when you finish.
Yeah, even when you get to
all of
everything.
them.
Okay.
If you look at past posts, I don't know, there are posts that kind of mention how many trophies are in each quest, which is kind of helpful.
Yeah. Well,
Wait, there is?
Yeah, somewhere in there. I saw it on the blue quest at least, and I'm assuming there's one for the green. But also I think like once you get the password, I think you just need to, I think the points are all or nothing usually. So like you'll know because you can like check off which mini quests you've passed. And if you haven't passed one, then you
Yeah.
probably still need to do it. But
I just wonder because when I did the blue quest, like I passed all the mini quests, but like my trophy count didn't add up to the total. So I was just wondering, like, like if you probably got a partial, like for some reason.
yeah, I got a partial on one of the mini quests in blue because one of my spacings wasn't working for like the draw the cat thing, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not going
Oh,
back
yeah.
and fixing
Is
this.
it-
I'm taking
is
a
sure-
partial on this.
The Schrodinger's line. I also
Yeah.
get that. I got like 3.677. I don't know what's wrong
Yeah,
there.
I was like, I'm good. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
bother with this.
I'm not gonna bother with this cat.
Yeah, I hate line manipulation. I'm good. Like I don't want to worry about this any more than I already have.
Yeah. At least he makes it kind of easy to see where your difference. But
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it's relevant anymore on Blue Quest though, like the line difference and stuff.
yeah.
Like in Blue Quest 1 to 5, sure, but like, well, the 2-string method, it's probably gonna be pretty important. But like for the other functions, you're not gonna like see out anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, also like feel free, like we can compare what we got on mini quest if somebody's feeling like they didn't get full amounts.
Dude, did you get 23 trophies for Hanoi?
Let me check.
Let me check too.
Hanoi, yeah, I got 33 for duck, 23 for hare, which is Hanoi, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I got 33 and 23 for 1 and 2, and then 23 for 3.
I got 25 for duck, 33 for platypus, and 23 for Hanoi. 23 for the automaton, 40 for the next one, and 19 on kiwi.
Wait, oh yeah.
Bro, dude, you're gonna finish this class in like
Yeah, you're so far
Ready
ahead.
for the other 8 weeks.
Speed running the class.
Hell yeah.
When did you start this? Like winter break?
Like 1 week before winter break ends, I start Blue Quest, and then I just start
Heck.
doing all the quests whenever I have free time.
Dude, that's crazy. Like,
Because I
honestly,
feel like this quest is, I mean, I feel like I thought that this class is gonna be like really, really hard. So I just started working ahead and like, but then like, oh, I have 9 more weeks and I'm already on quest 6. What am I gonna do? I guess I'm just gonna finish it anyways.
I'm also worried about running into one quest that takes me like 2 weeks. 'cause I
Yeah,
can't figure
that's
something
that
out.
was my initial concern.
dude, I thought like quest 2 is gonna take me like 2 weeks. Cause like I didn't even understand what they were asking for like the longest time.
Yeah. I found with this class that I read the spec and I go, oh, I should just drop. I'm an idiot. I can't figure this out. And then like 2 hours later, I have some pseudocode up. I'm like, oh, okay.
Dude, I had to like, yeah. I had to watch like hella YouTube videos on like the Tower of Hanoi because like I didn't even understand like
Oh
what.
yeah, I also watched some like recursion, the logic behind the recursion.
And I thought it was like dumb because like in his like specs he was like, oh, like it should be hella it should be like
He
really
makes
Yeah.
it look so
What?
easy.
I was like, what?
And then like what? Recursion is not supposed to be easy in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah, it's like
But then
No, I
like
think,
yeah.
oh, sorry.
Sorry, you can go.
Oh no, I was gonna say, yeah, my experience with this class has been like just endless YouTube and Google searches for like how to do something that I don't know how to do currently.
Yeah.
yeah, for reals.
The Tower of Hanoi was confusing was like the 3 tests that he put in the modules, like the n-1, the k, and then you assume that the k is true or something like that.
Yeah.
After you do that, it actually makes sense because you're just trying to put like move the bottom layer to the destination and then get rid of whatever is blocking it to the temporary pole. That's like how the logic of the recursion work, and then you just switch the temporary pole, whatever is not being used.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, I'm gonna bounce because I am 2 hours ahead of I think everybody. So eat dinner and go to bed.
All right.
Very
Good
Nice
night.
to meet all. Nice to meet all you guys. And
Nice to meet
look
you too,
forward to these
Dylan.
meetings. Have a good one.
I think I've exhausted my questions. My time would probably be better spent reading this spec like 3 times. So I'm gonna go just do some quiet reading too.
Yeah.
So cool. See you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, dude, for the automedia, if you have one parent automedia, like you can never spread, right? Because like
Yeah. That was one of my Reddit question actually.
oh,
I posted that. I was like, so if you only have one parent, do you just
like
like
it's just
never grow
it's
at
just
all?
like everything will just be flipping back and forth, right?
Yeah, it's well depending on your rule set, I guess. Because if your
Yeah.
rule is 0, then it's just gonna be 0 everything. Well, except the
that's
first
true.
generation, the seed generation.
Yeah.
It was hella confusing. It was causing so much problem. Holy, like the automata was.
Bro, I'm kind of
I
scared,
s-
man. I don't even
I s-
understand.
I still don't see like. I still can't wrap my head around like the entire functionality of the mini quests, like how it builds up into one single thing. I only like understand the bits pieces and how like each function works, and like
Yeah.
it's so the automata is actually so crazy.
I just feel
No.
like his directions are like not clear at all. Like
Yeah, the
yeah, I don't
module
understand what he's saying.
the module is something else. You gotta kind of decipher it yourself. But that took like 3 days. That quest took 3 days. Like straight up 10 hours of coding a day.
Dude, are you serious?
No, like so
Fuck.
much debugging.
Yeah. Man, I thought quest 2 was gonna be hard. Like looking at quest 3 is like
No, but it gets easier from there. Quest 4 and 5 are like
that's
super
cool.
easy. Quest 5, you literally just need to implement like operators and like multiplication for a real and complex number and like throw an exception if it's divided by 0. Like that's
Yeah.
it. That's why it's only worth 19 trophies, I think. But yeah, quest 1, 2, and 3 are the hardest so far. I don't know how inheritance.
Quest 1 was just like quest
Wait,
1
no,
was-
quest 2 and 3, sorry.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. That I'll
But
get
2
easier.
compared to 3 is relatively easy.
Really? Dude, that's-
3 is a big jump, honestly. To me at least.
like I was like when it says parent 0, auto A 0, auto B 0, auto C 1, auto D 1, like, what does that even mean?
Auto 1 0. So that's referring to the constructor, I think. 1, 0 means that it's one parent and the rule is 0.
Oh,
3, 5 means that the parents are 5 and it's rule number 5.
I
If the
see.
rule is 3, there is the maximum rule of 8. Yeah, so it's 5. You also have to like check for the validity in every single function. Well, not every single, like most functions. Like in the make next generation, you need to check if everything is valid. And printing out the string was also like the one that got me stuck the most, because the width and the length of the string itself, you have to compare the two.
Yeah. Dang. So we're only supposed to do like 1 and 3, right? Or that's what
Which
he's
one?
supposed to test for automated.
Oh yeah. He's
Like-
only gonna test 1 and 3 parents. I don't think he's gonna
Okay.
test like beyond that, but yeah, some people just like would just hard code the for 1 parent and 3 parents. I don't know if that's the ideal move, but if it passes the questing site, I guess. But I made
Yeah.
mine so that it should pass every single odd number of parents.
Yeah, for reals.
That's a good practice.
You guys know why on the Blue Quest 9 and the Green Quest 1? Yeah, well, why you don't need to declare any of your members? Because normally it wouldn't. Normally, if you tried to define them and you didn't declare any of your member functions, it would give you an error.
Wait, what? Like in
The only
file?
for the class, all the member functions.
You do declare them.
Yeah, you can declare them inside the private and the public.
Like I think well you took Leon last quarter, right? Or the
Yeah, right.
he did it like differently, but because sometimes he like declares it separately and then sometimes he declares and defines it like together. Like if like are you talking about like if are you hash including like a header file into the CPP file?
Right. I have a .cpp and I have a header file.
Yeah. So like or what was your question about declaring? Just like if it's not declared?
Well,
Then-
I only in all of his insert code and everything. I don't need to declare any of the functions. I'm only defining them. But for some reason, it still works.
If you, I mean, well, if you define them together, it's kind of like declaring it too. Because you
I'm
can
just
separate, you can separate
defining.
the declaration and the definition, or you can just like combine it. If that makes sense.
Declaration is optional, isn't it?
Is it?
Well, because on I can't remember. I think it was Quest 8. I tried to not define them, and it wouldn't work.
Not defined.
And then all of a sudden, yeah, because I didn't use a header file. I just did it all in my .cpp file and.
Oh,
had
because
all
the questing side needs to have a .h file. It's gonna read from that h file.
Right. But I don't know. It's just I don't know why it's all of a sudden working. I feel like for some reason maybe it's because it's in a header file and not the .cpp file. I'm not sure. I don't know. That's an odd question.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about your question actually.
because yeah.
Well, I mean, are you declaring? Do you have a separate place where you declare all your private or all your member functions of your class, or are you just declaring them or defining them and saying that's also a declaration or a definite or declaration?
So you You have the
I-
declaration of your member functions in your .h file, and then you would implement it in your CPP file. You define it there.
But sometimes like in the ones he gives you, like he defines it in.
Yeah, sometimes it's in line because like the simple ones like getters, you just
Yeah.
return something. But then the more complicated one, you should do it in like the CPP file.
Yeah, and then you just like hash include it.
So the
It's
.h file is basically to list everything that you want to put in your class, like all the members and variable and all the function member, and then you would define the functionality of that function in the CPP file for the non-inline one. Default constructors usually he give it to you in the age file. Getters also, but then for other mini quest functions, you probably have to implement it yourself in the CPP file.
Mm-hmm. See. I don't know. I can't.
as long as it works, dude.
Yeah. Sure. Thanks anyway.
Did he make this questing site or like,
Probably.
damn, that's a lot of effort and dedication.
Yeah. It seems really hard. I wouldn't even know how to make it. Just like having to like be able to test it. Like,
Yeah. It's like his own lead code, but for CS2B.
But then he doesn't. But then once he makes it, like he doesn't really have to teach a class anymore.
Yeah, he just needs to do it once. Like,
Yeah, like I feel like if you came into this class like without like prior knowledge of a lot of this stuff, like it'd be super hard. Because like the last CS class I took, like didn't even go into like header, like splitting header files into like. So like I can understand why it's hella confusing.
in CS2A, I don't think I learned anything.
Yeah, like they never even talked about like header files or like how to like.
CS2A is just like really basic. This is like
Yeah.
actual new stuff that well, because I took like CS AP CSA in high school, and I've been doing coding since like for a while, and like I never touched the concept of data structure, and now we're actually getting into it. So this is actually new stuff that we're learning, and CS2A are just like repetition of what I've been doing for the past 5 years.
Yeah. For reals.
No, this is actually something new and challenging.
Yeah. Wait, dude, for the automatia, like for one parent automation, like why does it say like there's one parent automation can be characterized by 4 possible 2-bit patterns? Because
I don't know about that. I don't understand that one though.
Yeah, like what? I
It's,
was kidding understand how.
it's just 2 actually, right?
Yeah, because like if
It's
it's
just
one
0,
parent,
0.
it should just be like 2 for each one, right?
Yeah,
Like I don't why is it 2-bit numbers? Like
I don't know. I don't understand the top part of the module. Like that part specifically.
Yeah.
I just ignore that and like just keep doing the mini quests and until I encounter an error and then ask to Reddit.
Did any of you get the book?
No.
No, I don't. I did not get the book.
The one, was it helpful? Or the
it might I don't know. It's probably like really dense, but you can I mean I feel like just Googling everything you need to know is probably like more useful.
Yeah.
Because like the book will probably go over a lot of stuff that you don't really need to know.
right.
You know, I don't know.
I mean, I survived this far without getting the book, so
Yeah, because like
Even in the last class?
the last class was asynchronous for me. So, and there's no book or anything. And it was like introductory class, so it was not that difficult.
Right.
But then so far, I survived without the book. You
I
mean
just
like
feel
the
like
actual-
all this stuff that we're learning is so scattered and like randomly hard to find information on. I mean, it's there, but I don't know.
Oh, because that's how data structure is. There's like infinitely many data structure. We're just learning of like the most common one, like linked list and well, recursion is one of the method to implement some functions and data structures, but
Yeah, it's just the jump from this class to like from the previous class is just like pretty high.
yeah.
Like unless you like know like what a linked list is, like it's probably like super confusing if you like never saw it before.
No, I don't know what a linked list was when I first did Quest 9.
Oh,
But
you did?
there's YouTube, so that
Yeah.
helps. I mean, everything you learn in this class, it's like nothing new in the world, so you can always definitely find it in Google or YouTube. Like to explain concepts at least, like not specific implementation, but you can definitely find like helpful articles or videos that explains the concept.
Yeah. Do you ever create like do you test your own code, or do you kind of or in like in your own main function, or do you kind of use his
Not all.
auto grader?
I don't test everything, but if I really get stuck into something, then I will start making a test file, test.cpp, because that's the friend function. I mean the friend to the class, and no, start working from there.
But
I
yeah,
can never get the friend class to work for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't
Really?
think you don't really have to do anything with the friend class.
Yeah, you just need to make a file called test.cpp, and it should automatically give access to it to all like the private stuff too.
Oh, I didn't even do that. I just like create a CPP file and just like
Copy paste everything.
no, I just like hash included the H file and just like made a main function and just like
Oh,
feed objects and just test it and put output and see what it does.
I just make test.cpp and
I didn't
then
even use,
test it
yeah,
on there.
I guess you could do that too. That's probably like,
Because it's friended. Because I assume that's what he's using in his questing site. That's what
yeah,
he wants us to give the friend.
but then like, how are you testing it though? Like, don't you have to make a main function to like output stuff to see?
I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, I just create my objects.
Yeah, I create my
an object.
object.
And then
Yeah, that's what I did. Just create a bunch of objects and see like if it like just output it at a console. But then you have to like comment it out when you submit it because like or else
Yeah, or else you have multiple definition of main. That was annoying.
yeah, super annoying. I think you have to like test it or else like you're gonna have to submit it like hella times and you won't really know what's going on.
Yeah, but sometimes testing it takes longer than actually debugging it. So just like if you're really stuck at something, then you should probably test it. But if you're like stuck, but you know where you're going, you should just like keep debugging it to the questing site.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I did. All right.
Will you like
nice
run out of attempt?
Run out of attempt? I don't think I haven't run out of attempt. I don't think you'll run out of attempt.
It'll just probably flag you, I don't know.
Yeah, I probably flagged for quest 3, but it's quest
Will
3.
it tell you?
No, it's like an invisible system.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of the grading's kind of weird in this class.
Does it like hurt your grade or does it just tank it? Like, is it just harder to increase from there?
Dude, I don't even know. I don't think anybody knows.
Nobody, it's a mystery.
I mean, it's just like whatever his code like says. Like, who knows what it is? Like, how many points? Like, what will happen? I guess as long as you get the trophies, that's all like matters. The main thing.
Yeah, for real. All right, nice meeting you guys. I'm gonna have to leave soon.
All right, see you, dude.
All right, see you, man. Peace.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm gonna head off to get some dinner.
For sure. See you, man.
See ya.